Jane!
Oh my goodness, hi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Spark. Hi. Hi, I'm Nadia. I'm here with you guys today for this 4th episode, and we're excited because today we have a couple of guests that you might have seen or you might have not seen before. So we have Pat McDermott and Candy McCarthy. Hello, guys.
Hello. What's up, everybody?
So this episode is going to be very community-centered. It's going to be just us loving on y'all. Just appreciating and showcasing some amazing community members today and just talking about how much we love you all. That's our episode.
That's it. We're just celebrating you guys because you are so awesome.
Yeah. Pat and Candy, how do you feel being a part of this community? You know, you've been here for a bit. You've been doing DDPY for a couple of years, just a couple. How's it been for you guys? Yeah, how's it been for you guys being a part of this community?
So, I have to let senior talk first.
Oh, wow. So in May, it'll be 14 years I've been in this community. So I saw it grow from a much smaller community. And now I think we're at 77.9 thousand, waiting to tick over to 78,000, which is crazy, right? And to see the community grow, to see new people come in, to see new programs come along in that time, to see us go from what were DVDs to the app, like, it's amazing to see now, and people who are still around from then as well, to see everything kind of come forward, and then they still help these new people along, and it's just, the community is just growing.
Yeah, and if for you guys that don't know, Pat is also one of our community managers. He's done customer service with us. He's one of our transformations. So, you know, someone that has done many things within the community. So excited to have him here. And Candy, tell us a little bit about your experience with the community, because you've been here a bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going on 6 years at the end of April. Not as long as Pat, but I've definitely seen things grow and change quite a bit while I've been here. And what's amazing is the consistent people that have been in here throughout. I think that's one of the things that makes this community and this program in general unique, is that people, even if they leave for a bit, they always usually come back. And I've seen so many people do that, which is amazing, because it's like everybody is just welcome, like, back. Like, people sometimes feel a little, maybe a little shame for coming back and be like, oh, I fell off. And nobody ever treats anybody different. They're just like, hey, come on back. We're, the water is fine, like, everybody's super pumped to see people that they've seen before come back from an injury or whatever. Myself, like, I at first didn't even know this community existed. I was in the Positively Unstoppable Challenge, and I was in that group. I was not a big Facebook person at the time. Obviously was like not about pictures of myself or anything. And Positively Unstoppable Challenge, like, you had to take the pictures. And in DDPY, we're supposed to take the pictures. Doing that started to get me out of that shell. When I did find the big group, though, it was kind of eye-opening to see all of these people welcome you in with open arms. I had not experienced anything like that. I had been isolated myself for over a decade before finding DDPY. And so, I was a person that it's crazy doing this, because I was a person that could barely speak to anybody before, finding DDPY. And this community helped me open up and learn more about myself and become the person that I am today. And that's, that's an amazing thing to find in a community of strangers. They all become your friends. It's wild.
Yes, and for people that don't know Candy is one of our past Positively Unstoppable champions. She's also our app content manager and also helps me run Transformation University. So lots of good stuff today. We're very in the community. So we're excited to get to showcase all of you guys and just talk about all the fun stuff that's happening in the community. But first, I think we need to go ahead and do one of our favorite things that we love to do here, is do our surprise calls. Today, we have Dallas calling Jane, and we're really excited to show you guys how that went. It's going to be really fun and really good. Jane's also a really awesome community member, and let's see how that looks.
Jane.
Oh my goodness, hi.
Surprise?
Or- Surprise.
Awesome. Awesome.
How are
So
you?
I read your post, and wow, what a journey you have been on. And sit up a little bit so people can see that you have and I hadn't seen these. You're the first one I've seen to wear the DDPY million point shirt. That's that's a big
I
deal.
love this shirt. I
That's
love this shirt. It's a big deal for me.
and all the days you've put in. How many days are you up to right now?
Today was 1,549 straight days.
Wow, wow. So tell us how you found us. Like how did your journey begin?
Well, I've heard about DDPY for years because friends were always telling me about it, and a lot of my friends are wrestlers, so like they're always talking about you, and I've watched you growing up, so I knew all about it. But I was always that person that like I'm just not a yoga person. It wasn't going to help me. But then I broke my ankle twice and had to have surgery on it, and COVID shut down physio, so I was pretty
Mm,
much desperate at that point. I couldn't walk, so I'm like I'm home every day. Why not try it? And it was the best decision I ever made. You
oh,
helped me more than physio ever did with my ankle.
oh, that's awesome. That is that.
And then I have herniated discs. I have 7 herniated discs, 4 in my neck and 3 in my lower back. And nothing, like I've had chiropractor care for probably 17 years because I've had these injuries for 19 years. No, wait. Yeah, I was 19 when I've had them. So like I've had them pretty much all my life.
Right.
The chiropractor got me through it, but like I still wasn't living. Like I had to fake my life. I had to fake being happy when I was out with friends, just anytime, and I would pay for it for days and weeks after it. So then the more I started doing your program, the more it started helping me. So then it was just the okay, well, I'm going to do it more and more. And then one day I just decided to just do it every day and see what happens. And you gave me a life that I never expected I could have.
Wow.
I mean, like the stuff I've had a setback this past year. I fell and dislocated all the ribs in my shoulder and twisted 3 levels of my
I
spine.
saw that.
So I
Crazy.
had a huge setback physically and mentally with that. And then when I lost my dog,
That's
it,
oof, brutal.
yeah, because she was part of the reason of why I wanted to be better. I wanted to walk her and play with her. And so, like, everything just kind of hit at once this past year. But even on the hardest days, I knew that that was something that would give me a little bit of just feeling like myself again, even if it was just stretching. There was months that all I could do was your stretching, your Christmas stretch one with Paige.
Right.
But I did it, and it helped me so much. Because I think, and they've even told me if I wasn't in the shape that I was in because of you, the injury would have been a lot worse.
I've been there. I don't know if you saw it where I fell down the stairs. I didn't, what was the last 2 steps? And I thought I was at the ground. I'd never walked down there at dark, leaving the retreat and was walking from the pool down. And when I went down, the top of my foot, instead of the bottom, the top hit, and all my
Mm,
weight came down on this glute on my left side, and I was
mm,
forced to push my knee, my glutes to my ankle, and
yeah,
if I wasn't doing what I've been doing the last few months, I would have been crippled. I would have been. I'm sure I would have to have had my knee replaced, and I would have broke my big toe for sure. But I didn't because I'm so
yeah.
active with that. So everything that you're doing is just going to make everything else so much easier as you go through it. And I got my
Well,
man Steve coming in
I'm
here.
just going to come in here, Jane, to congratulate you on your million points. And
thank you so much.
I hope we've seen a couple times you wearing that shirt, and I hope you're not wearing that every day, but
No,
but
I do have a lot of blue DDPY shirts. They're my favorite to wear.
good, good. Well, not everybody who gets the shirt gets a surprise call from Dallas, so you're in a select few, so we're really
Well, this
proud.
this means a lot more to me than you'll ever know. Like you both have just helped me so much. Like on honestly on the hardest days when I wanted to just give up and I thought about it, this program was honestly the only thing that kept me going most days.
Yeah, well, that's
I would get
great.
up, I would do the program and take care of my animals, and then I'd just sleep for the rest of the day because all when my vitamin D was so low, it's all I could manage was just what absolutely had to be done. but DDPY had to be done.
And also seeing your million point shirt lets me know that there's a 2 million point shirt.
Oh, really? We gotta
That's what
add
I
a 2
thought of.
million
That's
shirt.
what I thought about. You know.
I mean, you know, I think sometimes people think, it's just a shirt, but to people who earn it, it's way more than that,
It's like
right?
anything.
This shirt just came at the time where I'm like, no, like this is proof that I didn't give up.
Yeah, awesome
Well,
job, Jane.
Thank you. I mean, like I really can't say enough to you guys. You both have helped me so much.
Okay, pick up that right hand, Jane. Pick up that right hand. Give yourself some high five. We're proud of you, girl.
It's so nice getting to see how excited people get every time Dallas gives them a call. We're so glad that we got to chat with Jane. And I love that she wore the shirt.
Yeah.
The 1 million shirt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
1,549 days. That's like over 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, she's an absolute warrior, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
the community for obviously over 4 years, but the main thing that gets me is how she keeps coming back from injury, and like everything she said I related to. I mean, from coming back from injuries, losing your dog, which is so hard to deal with, but getting on the mat always does help you get out of that mindset that wants to drag you back. Like DDPY has helped move me past so many things, and obviously, as we see with Jane as well, and this community.
I love that people kind of develop like their little like subcultures within DDPY too. Like all the people that are doing the streaks and like everyone posting like their current updates, or even just how much people love collecting like all the shirts and all these different things. But I just love that. I think that's what's so cool about the community.
Yeah.
People make it their own and more than one way, you know? So in many ways.
I think
That's just so cool to see that.
too, that she said that her physio, like this helped her more than her physio. That just speaks to what this can do for you. And it really speaks to like with the PT program and everything else we offer now too. Like there's somewhere for you to start. It's accessible. And when you go that for those streaks, like those 1,000, what was it, 1,500, something like that,
Yeah.
you can do these lighter workouts throughout that to keep that alive, but it helps you feel better along the way, which is really what it's all about, right?
It's crazy. It's like, that's why I say I relate to her so much. She was talking about starting in 2020 with like when there was no physio. That was the same way I started. I found DDPY because there was no physio available, and it helped me more than PT I had done 10 years prior. So, I mean, that is kind of wild. And that was even before the PT programs existed. So now you have like an unbelievable amount of different opportunities to help yourself, you know, obviously in conjunction with PT, but sometimes you can just do that. It's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool seeing how this program, you know, Dallas built it so long ago to help kind of rehab his own injuries, and how many people have benefited from doing what we've been doing. And it's also really cool to see too, just how people can kind of look from the outside in and see all the success that people have had.
Yeah.
And how great the community has kind of built itself on that too. So yeah, I'm excited today to talk about a couple of really cool posts that we found in the Facebook group. I had Candy kind of scour the Facebook post or the Facebook group and just go ahead and give us a couple of just like fun things to look at. We love being in there. Dallas is in there all the time commenting for people too. And yeah, we wanted just to highlight a couple people and just chat about it and just have a conversation. So we're excited. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pull a couple of those because I think it'll be fun to kind of just see what people are doing and really get to connect with people.
And I think it's cool too. It's just like a reminder that like we see everything at the company. Like Dallas is in there, Pat's in there, Steve is in there, Nadia, myself. We're always looking at what's going on with you guys in the community because we love to see it. Like we love to see just everybody getting together and cheering each other on and hyping each other up. It's very cool.
And big shout out too to our big DDPY community group. That is the community group ran by you guys. We have a lot of amazing like moderators that are kind of making that happen. We have our own groups we run, like the 55 Plus and the Transformation University group. That's where you'll see us there. But a lot of these posts are going to be actually from the big group. So we're excited to check these out and share them with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and pop up this one here. Look at this.
Amazing.
I have Dino here. Dino says, it's my 13th anniversary of doing DDPY.
It's wild.
It's not all been plain sailing due to some of the stuff life throws at you. I've stopped for a period of time, but eventually I hear that voice in my head that says, get up and get back to it. I celebrated today with a Diamond Cutter 2.0. One thing that happened over the 13 years is that it's much easier to go into the red when you're 54 years old. I think that's so fun. Oh, good job, Dino. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I'm going to share this one. Boom, Susan. Love it. This photo was possible thanks to DDPY. Look how low I was able to crouch. This is outside the church of Santo Domingo in Oaxaca. Wow. It was a vacation I also couldn't have taken without DDPY. You can't see it well, but both my knees are on the ground. Yes, I'm so proud of this photo that I'm using it as my profile picture.
I love it.
Adorable! I love this.
I love that.
And this is the type of stuff that our community shares, just like the little moments in life.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that?
I think
the fact that we get to be a part of all these moments.
Yeah, and what I think what's so amazing to me about it is just how it shows how, like, to me, I always say, like, DDPY is the gateway to life. If you've been immobile, if you've been, even if you're just stuck in your own head, like, this will get you out of your situation and allow you to live again. Like, that's what it did for me. So, like, when I saw this post, I wanted to highlight it because it's like, it reminds me of where I came from, not being isolated, not being able to go do anything. This person's talking about how, they now are going on vacation. And I mean, crouching down to take a picture. I mean, that's things that you don't even really think about.
Speaking of gifting and loving, we have Renee here. I love this one. Okay, Renee said, so excited. After watching me do my workouts over Christmas, my older sister has been doing Wake Up and the Dime a Dozen that she found on YouTube. She has been really enjoying it, so I gifted her a year subscription. That's so nice. I'm so excited to be doing this with her. Now to get her to join TU with me. Heck yeah, Renee.
Come on
Nice.
over.
We're also trying to work on Mom and show her that she's not too old to do this too.
Hey, you are never too old to start doing DDPY. We have people in the community 80 plus. If anything, it's more important to get this kind of movement in as we age. So yeah, this is again, like giving the gift of health to somebody that you care about. There is nothing like it. And then I love that she shared it with the community because, that inspires others to even think about, hey, there's somebody in my life that could benefit from this. Maybe I should bring them in and then bring them to you.
This is really interesting too, because on our DDP Yoga social media, the business page, we get a lot of messages where sometimes someone will reach out and say, I know this person, they really need to start, and I just don't know how to reach them. Can you reach out to them? But a lot of times what I end up telling people is, well, have you looked into starting the program yourself? Because sometimes when people see that change in you, that's when they start. And that's exactly what happened here. And now they're along for it. They want to join TU. They're going to use the app because they saw someone else and the changes it made in their lives. And I think that's really huge. If you're going through life right now and you see somebody who you think could benefit from this, you might want to be the person to start. You might be the catalyst to help them without even realizing it.
Yeah. I've seen a post from somebody recently who was talking, it was like literally very recent. That's why it's not in here, but I seen where they were doing DDPY and their mother walked in, their elderly mother, and she started doing positions. And, she sat and watched the rest of it and she was interested. And it's kind of just like the people that you surround yourself with will be influenced by what you're doing. And so if you are thinking about like, this person really would benefit, like, my spouse, my parents, whoever, just do a workout in front of them. Like, you don't have to say like, hey, like watch
this right now.
Yeah, like
watch me do these positions.
Like, I'm going to put you in this chair and you're going to watch. No, it's just like, hey, I'm going to start my workout. Hope you don't mind. And then just start doing it. And they may just join in. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen parents who have talked about their kids joining them like that. It's very cool.
I love when dogs join.
Yes.
When you'll see the dogs next to them. I will never forget the Jackie Miller video of her using her dog to prop herself up for some positions, and the dog was very loving and there to be there for her.
And he is 150 pounds, so it does make sense to use something to prop up.
It's also sometimes your outward results of the consistency, right? Like, someone might see you start and they go, that's their thing, whatever. And then they see you 3, 4, 5 months down the road being consistent. And all of a sudden you're not eating the same. Your thoughts are different. You're a happier person. You start to lose weight. And that's another catalyst. Sometimes people go, well, I thought that DDP yoga stuff, like, I didn't know, but it seems like you're doing great with it. I'd like to start, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this reminds me too of Jimmy Numbers, one of our TU alumni slash students slash members. He's really awesome and he's been doing great. And he got his mom to join recently. She's been seeing all the amazing work that he's been doing and the change in him. And now she's in there and she's excited. And it's also really cute to see how your family's doing. And she's so proud of every time that we mention Jimmy or he joins us to do something with us. It's just really great. I think it's really fun to bring your family in when you can.
Yeah, I mean, even somebody like Kimberly Maracle, whose husband Gordon joined TU after being at graduation. You know, it's just, and it's talked about, wow, it's really has started helping my back. Like, it's pretty amazing what happens when the people that are around you see what you're doing.
Good. All right, we're going to do the next one. Okay, we have another couple cuteness. Tom says, a couple that does DDP yoga together stays together. Balanced together. Thanks for adding us to this amazing group. Much love and blessings. So cute. Love that. You guys are adorable.
It is really cool when you compare it with your loved one like that.
Okay, next one. Okay, we're going to start here with Matthew. Warning real quick. Matthew cusses a little bit, and I'm going to do my best to read it. So if there's little ears, protect the little ears. But if not, I'm just going to go. Matthew is saying, I've been hesitant to post. My journey is newer, but you guys inspire me so much. I'm going to say this too. Don't be afraid to post. If you really want to post, it's you know, you don't have to post, but it's super awesome seeing people and what they are accomplishing when they're starting, catching up with them later once they've done a little bit more. People are always super encouraging. So it's really awesome to see. Okay, I went to the doctor on November 25th of last year. The doctor put me on 10 types of new meds due to my weight and lack of giving a shit about myself. Thankfully, something clicked that day. The doctor looked me in the face and said, you need to make changes to your diet and exercise. I knew I had never exercised. I mean, I was pissed when I had to walk to the printer too many times. I weighed 327 on doctor day. Today, I am 287, and I'm 45 pounds from my goal weight. I'm on day 4 of DDP Yoga and have been consuming content made by the crew to motivate me to keep pushing. Well, look at this, Matthew. Now you're in the content. Now hopefully this helps motivate you even more.
Like
DDP, Steve, and crew, thank you for giving us a fucking chance. I am so thankful to be able to learn from you guys. I'm hopeful about life now thanks to you guys and showing me how easy it can be done. Y'all have a great day, and if anyone needs to talk about this journey or needs encouragement, I can't wait for an opportunity to give it to you. Okay, now we're going to go to the next one. Let's see. David, I have had this app for years. Consistency has not been strong. Today my wife asked me, what's up with DDP Yoga? Are you going to do it or not? And I swear that this had to be a sign. DDP, the man, actually called me an hour later. We had a nice chat. He talked to me for maybe 15 minutes. I told him some of the things that were happening with me, and he motivated me. Finished day 1. Consistency is key. I will hold myself accountable. Have a great day, everyone. Bang. Yeah. That's so crazy. I wonder how Dallas picked him out, especially if he's been using the app or he's had the app for years.
I remember when I first started, I got a couple of people started in the wrestling scene where I was working, and one of the guys who was a ring announcer, he had started the program, but when he first started, all he bought was the program guide that they used to sell, which was like the book. Now it's a PDF, right? So he spent whatever it was, $10, $15 on it, and he felt so guilty because Dallas called him. He's like, I didn't invest in the whole DVDs. I just bought the program guide. And Dallas like, I don't care. You know, I called you to talk to you and see where you are. And he was like, I couldn't believe he spent, so much of his time just talking to me, seeing how I was, my daughter was, like, he cared.
Yeah. Such a genuine person. Like, that's one of the things that I always thought was interesting. Like, anytime he would talk to me, this was just like in the first year of after, coming through the Positively Unstoppable challenge, he would always ask me how my husband was, but he would say, "Hey, how's Billy doing?" Like, I was like, wow, he remembers Billy. Like
Yeah.
he knows
Yeah.
he remembers details about everybody because he actually
Yeah.
cares. That's the difference. Like what other fitness
Yeah.
company has a creator that actually cares about every single person that's doing this program? It's amazing.
I also want to highlight this comment from Thomas Anderson in this post. Thomas, look at you, bringing people into the TU team.
Yes.
David, are you going to sign up for TU? I was in the same boat as you, had the app for years, and was on and off with working out. Then TU was announced last year, so I signed up and haven't looked back. It gave me the confidence in myself to stay consistent with the program. I haven't missed a day hitting the math.
Amazing.
Incredible.
And yeah,
Love it, Thomas.
he posts his workouts daily in TU, and I always see them, and I'm just always like, it's just so good to see somebody just staying consistent. And the thing is, it's not always that he's doing like, 30 in the red with Hayden or like a Power Cuffs workout. He's doing, active recovery days, which is so important because it's, again, and we say this a lot in TU, but we say this throughout the DDPY community, it's consistency over perfection. You don't have to go hard out every time. Getting something in every day is what counts.
I think that's what's awesome about the structure at TU too, is it forces you to kind of slow down your brain a bit, right? Like the way that things are dealt out, it kind of makes them absorbable over time. A lot of times we're thinking about so much up here that we get flustered or we burn out. That's why I would say, like, I know Steve said on a previous episode, it's really a no-brainer to join. It is. Like, if Candy or I had this program when we first started, absolutely it would have helped us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try to make it consumable and like take it step by step and not overwhelm people. We know it's a lot sometimes, but fitness and changing your life or just starting something new in general can always be overwhelming when you're learning something new. But we really try our best to make sure people from any entry level can kind of be able to participate and do it. So we're excited about that.
And but even with just the DDP community in general, DDPY community in general, you come in there and everybody's there to help out and give you tips. And even we'll tell you like, hey, you're going too hardcore. You might want to take an active recovery day. Like
You could do that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's so genuine about our community. Like that's why we're celebrating you guys today, because you're all so awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Okay, we're gonna go to the next one. Oh, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love Sherry.
Yeah.
Look at this. Sherry gets fit. Hello, fellow DDPYers. Today is my 60th birthday and marks a year ago when I began Transformation University. I'm filled with so much gratitude because I get to enter this new decade of my life healthier, happier, and feeling better than I did when I turned 50. I thank God for this program. This past year has had its ups and downs, but through it all, I've learned so much from DDP, Paige, and all the TU leaders, my FastTrack Coach Pam Riley Rebuild, DDPY 55+, and DDP Yoga groups, about consistency and not quitting on yourself. I have stopped and started so many weight loss fitness programs, but I finally found one that's real, that works, and that I can do throughout my life, no matter my age. I never thought I would have the mobility I do now, since I have L4 and L5 herniation discs and cervical spondylitis. I would see fellow DDP peeps touching toes, doing catcher squats and roundhouse moves, and thought how amazing that must be for them. And now I can do them.
Yeah.
With all the inspiration and encouragement here, I believe in myself again. I changed the story I told myself. I am looking forward to TU3 and another year of doing life the DDP Yoga way. Oh,
That's
claps.
What I love that, because my goodness, I can relate to the fact of like feeling better now at 44 now than I did at 24. And she's talking about how she hit 60, she feels better than she felt at 50. And a lot of the members of the senior community will say the same thing. Like they feel better now than they've ever felt. And and shout out Sherry. I've got an L4 herniated disc. I know what that's like. And I never thought I'd be able to do those positions either, but you put the work in, girl. You did amazing. Happy belated birthday.
Yes. Well, I'm really glad that Sherry mentioned Pam Riley Rebuild. Because we love Pam Riley. Pam Riley is one of our FastTrack coaches, champ from her PUC back when we did that. And also she helps lead the DDPY 55 plus community, one of the communities that we run. And I'm really excited because today, who better to give you compliments and to make you feel amazing about yourself than Pam Riley herself. So let's go ahead and bring in this absolute queen, Pam Riley Rebuild.
Woo!
Oh my
Hello.
word, you
Pam.
guys. I'm in the house with 3 favorite people here. What?
Well, I feel the same, Pam.
Oh my
3 favorite
word.
people.
And then hearing Sherry's message, I'll tell you what, you guys, and you know it because we all share the same heart, right? It's like every time we see someone come up, that they dust themselves off and they start this thing. It just inspires me. I feel like every time I put on my DDPY t-shirts, I feel like Superwoman, right? I am so honored. You guys know it. I'm so honored to be given this. I was ready for the cemetery in 2022.
I
Right?
remember. I call that your Undertaker promo because you literally walked up to the grave and cut this promo.
I'm not kidding. I ordered the stone, had it put in a small town, and some people saw it and called our children and said, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know your parents passed." They didn't notice that the death date wasn't on there, but that's where I was at. And so you guys gave me a chance to come back, gain my mobility, have a life again, and then a life of purpose. And that's what I think a lot of the 55 plus, what I call the leadership growing, they wanted purpose, right? You guys are giving it to them because we have the chance to overcome, get our mobility balanced to whatever level happens, right? Because some people admit some days I have perfect balance, Pam, and other days I'm doing a workout thinking, where'd the balance go today? But like Dallas talks about, every day is a little bit different, right?
Right. And there's a workout to meet you where you are in every situation.
Yeah, and we're excited to make even more workouts that can help you even more where you're at. Wow. And, if you guys are ever curious about, what we're talking about, what we're referencing, I know we just talked a little bit about Pam and we've talked about Candy and Pat's story, just check it out. Our YouTube channel has all these stories there for you.
I think that's what's so incredible, Pam, about you is where you started to the person you are now, who's like, I don't even think of myself as a senior. But like a couple of years ago, you were thinking about the eternal rest. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's why you
couldn't walk across the street, Candy. I couldn't do anything. So that's why I just thought, if this is where I'm at, I would just really rather be gone. It wasn't a suicidal thing. It was more like, begging the Lord, could you just take me now? Like, I'm ready. Funeral arrangement's done. Lord, just take me, type thing.
And I do think that's a lot of times, a lot of people start in that spot. I mean, I'm a little bit younger than you, but I started there too. Like, I just, I didn't go to the graveyard. I didn't go that far, but I definitely was just like, I don't think I want to wake up anymore because of how bad my mobility got. But I think that's what is so helpful with us sharing these stories in the community is it shows people who are in that spot, there is another there is more that you can do. And you're a perfect example for the 55 plus group and just the broader community beyond, because it shows like where you started to where you are now and the voice you have. Because I'd like to think you were always this positive, but I imagine that this came with the transition, right?
Yeah, exactly. To be given a new purpose at 67 years old is just unbelievable. And I do believe that's why there's a lot of passion in there. So if people know any family member or friend that's 55 and up, they need to get them to our group, because what we've all discovered is there's a little bit of a common thread that you've dialed back, like kind of raised your family if you had a family and they're off doing their own world. There's a little bit of loneliness, a little bit of analyzing. Do I want to work anymore? Well, I have to financially, so I'm going to have to work. So things shift so much in their minds at that 55 and up. If you were an athlete or did anything, any car accident, anything, it begins to show up in the joints when you hit 55, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, geez. Like Dallas says, the Tin Man, oil, and it's like everywhere.
Well, he
So,
says rust.
we just need a giant Band-Aid for our full body, right?
Yeah. He always
Yeah.
says rust never sleeps. He ain't wrong.
Oh,
I mean, again, like even with me, like if I'm not doing DDPY consistently, that rust is coming back. And I think, and but it is important, so important as we get older to keep that movement, because once you lose it, it's a lot harder to get it back. And I always think of like when I was in elementary school, we had the substitute teacher and her name was Mrs. Lake. And I don't think she's going to be watching this, but she was in her 60s, and she would make us all jog in place during class. 20 years later, I'm at the bus stop waiting to get to work, and here she comes in her 80s jogging by. And I was like, I want to be Mrs. Lakin when I get to my 80s. But that's the thing,
Mhm.
like, as long as you keep moving, you will keep living. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, movement is life.
yeah, yeah. And we've got them, of course, all the way up to their 90s in the group.
Yeah.
So there's almost like a badge of honor if whoa, you're that age, whoa. And so we actually celebrate
Yeah.
every single. Well, that's the hero in the room, you guys. Do you see that? They're like, hey, you're not. So
Yeah.
it's cool, the difference. And
I
like
have
I
to
said,
tell
half
you,
of the people in TU graduating TU2 are from that group. They're
we love
going after
TU2.
this thing.
Yeah.
I have to tell you though, you are like, you take introverts and make them extroverts. That's what I've noticed. A lot of times people come in, and like you help people, like you and Candy are both talking about your stories. And one thing, and I notice it in mine as well, or any story really, is you have that flip of the switch or, the spark, right? That just happens.
Bye.
And I know I got the name in, right? Awesome. So
Extra point.
when that happens though, the whole attitude and the whole reason you're there shifts, and then you really start paying it forward. And like someone I noticed who that changed completely was our buddy Dennis, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dennis became quite an extrovert. I love talking to Dennis, but when I'd first seen him in the group, I was not sure if he wanted people involved or he just wanted to share. I thought it was awesome though, the way he's really come out of his shell, and so many others in there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Dennis, every single week I get a sheet of all the water he drinks. That man is so accountable to every part of his commitment to overcoming 2 strokes, coming out of a wheelchair. That man, and he's one of the great leaders in there. That are anytime someone does a post, he tries to comment.
And you guys see him at the skate park in his life glider. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Honestly, like when I first seen him use the life glider, I cried. I did. It was at the
Yeah.
last graduation. I cried. Like it was amazing. Like I
Oh, yeah.
love that man.
Yeah.
And it's funny because at graduation, and this is bringing it back to the community. Like he said, 2 years ago, I would have never even talked to you. And I'm like, I get it. I got piercings, colored hair, like I wear skeleton stuff. Like I get you. And he's just like, but he goes, this community, he goes, and me now being open, he says, I see, he goes, there are so many good people out there that, I would
Mhm.
love to. And I think that again is what's so valuable about this community is it doesn't matter like what your background is, what you look like, where
Exactly.
you come from. We're all in this together. And and it helps when, Pat was talking before about like the isolation and stuff, like a lot of us, went through COVID. A lot of us had to come out of that. And, that was very difficult for me. Like this community helped me. Pat, I mean, Pat became a friend in 2020. That's how we became really good friends. And he was like one of the first people I really started opening up and speaking with. And I had been closed off for so long. I see so many people like that in the community now that like they started very like meek and now they're like big voices helping others, which is just amazing.
What I would add to what you said too, because it was one of the things I really wanted to hit on that I've seen over the years with this community is it doesn't matter where your background is, what you come from. It also doesn't matter when you leave and decide to come back. You're
Exactly.
welcome again.
Mhm.
We love to
Yes.
see. I love to see. We're seeing in Transformation University now people I haven't seen in like a decade
Yeah.
coming back to this, and I think that's so powerful because you just come in as you are. And sometimes I'll have people reach out to me because I've gone through setbacks of my own and I'm working through them. And I tell people like, you have to realize maybe you were the person who was doing 5 workouts a day,
Yeah.
but then the reason you fell off is that wasn't achievable anymore. That wasn't consistent with or compatible with your lifestyle. Maybe you need an energy every day. Maybe you need fat burner. Maybe you need to do something that's shorter and consistent. And they come back in. Maybe they're in the chair. Maybe they're standing with the chair. Maybe they're in the bed. And I think that's what's so cool is if you come back, nobody holds it against you that you left for a year or a half a decade or a decade. We're just glad you're back. We're glad you're starting up again, and we're all going to be there to help you.
Yeah, and I think, and when you're going through it, as you're going through it, being open and posting about it. Like I went through when I was going through my aneurysm surgeries, I had 2 strokes. I posted everything because it was helping me get through it, and also staying accountable to myself, but also having the community to back me up. It really helped me get through a really dark time that could have been really, that could have set me back if I had let it. And, Hayden's wife, Lucy, who is an awesome fast track coach and instructor.
Yeah.
You've seen her amazing workouts on the app. Well,
Amazing.
she went through something last year with a car accident where she had to start back and had surgeries, and she posted about it. And I think it's so powerful when we do post about our setbacks and how we're getting through them, because it shows other people how we can get through these things. And especially with her being an instructor, like somebody that people look up to on the app, doing her workouts, to see her go through it, like it helps inspire people to get them through what they're going through.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been so fun getting to chat with Pam, having her here and just kiki with us and talk about the community. I told you it was going to be a love fest as soon as she walked in. I knew it.
We just love that woman.
I do need to thank you all because, Nadia and Pat, my whole first year here, your voices and Dallas, I only had 3 voices I listened to for advice. Whatever you guys were teaching, never dreamt I'd be a champ, but that's a whole other story. I kept telling you guys, I don't know if I fit in here because I don't have any piercing, tattoos. I've never colored my hair. Even at 70, I still have never colored my hair. So I just felt I wasn't.
Pam, you should do it.
I wasn't cool enough, right? I just wasn't cool enough to be in here. But that's the thing. We're all welcome at the table here. It's not about our age. It's not about our background. We're all welcome at the table of DDPY. We share the same heart, all of us. And it's powerful. It's powerful. I do feel cooler just having friends like you, though, I will say.
But just being you, Pam, is cool. Like, being the uncoolest person for me has made me cool. That's how I always feel.
Oh,
right?
funny. Oh, funny.
I mean, I've seen people that looked really cool, but they were so not cool in their personality. Like, you're one of the coolest people I know. So
I agree.
You're so funny. Well, I love you guys so much. I appreciate what you're doing in this DDP, obviously Transformation University. I don't think there's ever been anything even close. This is amazing.
Well, glad we had you here today. Glad to have you, Pam. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm honored. Love you guys.
It was so nice getting to chat with Pam. I love Pam. And, it's always great getting to hear her side of, as well as someone that manages a 55 plus group, and just everything that she's experienced in DDPY. Because like she said, we're all so different. So it's really nice getting to, see what everyone gets to experience in the community. And everyone's welcome.
Yeah, it's just cool that she is from the community. That's the coolest part. Like, it's somebody that was like hired to do this or something. It's like she is a community member who wants to give back and has been doing that in this kind of way. Also, being a fast track coach, she does the same, giving back in that kind of way. And it's really amazing what this community creates in people. It really it changes people's lives.
It's such a pay it forward mentality. And I would say too, we should, since this is a community focused episode, let's just give a shout out to all the people who are the admins on that big DDP yoga group.
Definitely.
They're the ones who make sure that, things don't get in there. It shouldn't be there. They're the ones making sure, going through, keeping everything safe and keeping it that culture, that DDPY culture intact. So big,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
good job.
Yeah. And the admins there celebrate members each week, which, it's their own Fab Friday kind of deal. They're shouting people out there who they see that are really working and, are warriors in their own right. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're watching this and you're not a part of that group, I suggest you join that big group if you're just starting out, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll probably have that link right in the description. But I would definitely say join up and see what this is about, because if you're going at it on your own, it's much better when you have all this accountability and you'll meet people who have, maybe they're dealing with similar problems to you or completely different problems, and they just help you along the way.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got going on now, guys? What do we have going on here in DDPY land for the next couple of weeks, maybe the next couple of months? Stay tuned for all the graduation updates. It's going to be super fun. If you haven't joined Transformation University, there's always time, but the best time is now. It's really exciting. Graduation is just a celebration of your hard work for 5 months, and you apply to come to it, but you get to celebrate with us. You get to work out here at the Performance Center. You get to meet and interact with Dallas, Paige, Yoga Doc. Hayden's going to be here this year, and Lucy. So many incredible people, and us. We'll be there too.
You get your diploma from DDP in a graduation gown.
Yeah.
So like, dude,
I mean,
you got to get that photo op.
Plus, if
Yeah.
you're wondering what any of the workouts and like the energy is at graduation, check out
it's
some of the
different.
newer workouts. They like Yoga Docs Back to the Beginning was a new one that came up recently. And you will see the energy. It is something to behold. So yeah, join you to be a part of that.
Yeah, and we have also some like workshops that we're gonna like teach you different things. We have photo shoots. We have so many fun things. So many fun things coming for graduation. So definitely check it out. Join up if you haven't. And we're gonna have another graduation coming up in the summer. So we have 2 of them a year. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing we got going on is the app. Super excited. It's coming out soon. Stay tuned. We're filming a lot of really great new series that are gonna go into the app and some really cool stuff. Hopefully you guys like it. We're going to streamline things a little bit, so it'll be fun to get to check that out. Our final thing for the day, so thank you guys for tuning in to this new episode of The Spark. We're going to do our question. We have a line for people to call and ask us questions. As I've said before, keep it DDPY centered, because I cannot answer your wrestling questions. This episode, maybe could.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Cannot. So let's see what our caller has to ask us today.
I will have a question about the nutrition part of the DDPY program. It says on the recipes, it has like dairy free. I want to know, how important is it to be dairy free? Because I purchase raw milk, and I would hate to give up my raw milk for any reason, but if it's necessary, I would do it. So that is my question. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so I will say off the bat, I'm not a doctor. You do your own research on raw milk. I know it can be very controversial. Raw milk is very controversial in our world.
Absolutely.
Believe it or not. So, you do your own research, make your own personal choices on what you want to consume. But I will say why we recommend dairy-free in our dietary recommendations for DDP yoga. Dallas is really big on reducing inflammation. And dairy, unfortunately, causes a lot of inflammation in the body, and especially when you're trying to rehab, and when you're trying to lose weight, and when you're trying to just feel better overall. Dairy can sometimes not help with that. So that is the biggest thing about us recommending that you go dairy-free. And maybe Candy and Pat can add a little bit more on that.
So, yeah, and so there's 3 phases too, right? So phase 1 wouldn't include removing gluten and dairy. It's more so removing a lot of the processed foods. So if phase 1 is something that works for you, that's why these different phases exist. One is to kind of help you get your eating cleaner and cleaner to that phase 3.
Yeah.
But there's also that thought of like, maybe that's where it's, it's compatible with you to live in that phase 1, right? So that's where you are. But you can always try to take it to that phase 2. I believe it's phase 2 removes gluten and dairy, and 3 is food combining.
Yes, and organic, yeah. And so, I mean, it really depends on, and again, this is not medical advice. This is just from personal experience. I have a chronic autoimmune condition. And for me, I'm constantly battling inflammation. And for a lot of people with those kinds of inflammatory diseases, dairy and gluten will cause inflammation to spike. So it really depends on what your medical needs are. If you do have a chronic condition and you're constantly finding you're in a lot of pain in your joints, particularly, it may be something to try and see how your body responds to it. It takes about like 6 to 8 weeks to really see the full results of removing something like a gluten or dairy from your nutrition. So do give it time. but it could be something that is valuable to you. And a lot of times we don't know what we have until we try something different.
Right.
So
Very true.
if you're in a situation where you are experiencing a lot of pain, maybe just removing dairy and and gluten. I find that for me, well, I'll be honest, for me, sugar is even more of an inflammatory issue than anything. But the thing is, you never know. So you start small, start by removing the dairy and see how you feel. And if there's not much change, but you're still having gluten, go with the full, second nutritional level, which is removing gluten and dairy, and then see how your body feels like after 8 weeks. And you might be surprised.
Yeah. And keep it, like Candy said, you have to do it for a certain amount of time at least, right? Try a couple of weeks to a month. That's when you're going to see the most. I think Brittany Page actually told me, oh no, Doretta was the one that told me that it takes like 30 days for gluten to leave your body. Yeah. So, it's something to keep in mind. But still, we found a lot of success and people really have enjoyed reducing it. So.
Yeah, I remember hearing that sugar could be an inflammatory, and I gave it like 2 weeks, and then I was like, this isn't nothing. I feel the same. But once I started doing, started this lifestyle change 6 years ago, and it was like about, in the second month when I was pretty much, I don't say I'm sugar free. I'm very, very minimal sugar, like a couple of grams a day, if that. And I noticed then that, wow, my chronic pain between doing DDPY consistently and changing my diet, it was a different world. So,
yeah. Well, hopefully that was helpful. Yeah. I'm excited. I think maybe people have had questions like that before in the community, so hopefully people would enjoy that one. As a reminder, give us your questions. Call the number. Yeah. Call the number. I'm going to say it again. That way you can remember. Call the number 470-785-3857. And who knows, maybe Dallas himself might answer the question. So you never know. But guys, that brings us towards the end of our episode number 4 of The Spark. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Candy and Pat, for being here with me and helping me host today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Really appreciate the ability to celebrate the community with you guys. It's awesome.
In this month of love and friendship, we love you, and we're thankful for you. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.